Well, good morning, folks. It's morning to me, it's afternoon to you. I have not been disassociated with this world necessarily, but because I don't have my son and because I don't have a job, and it's like it is what it is. So I just sleep and wake up when I sleep and wake up. I feel like my mind is more to the east, is toward the east than the west. That's how I feel. If that makes any sense. Let's see. So it is almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It feels like 9 or 10 in the morning on a winter summer day. That's how it feels. It feels like around Christmas time and around 9 o'clock in the morning. And I can hear and feel Alexander's echo. From when we were invited to live in that house on Horseshoe Bend. And we were invited to live there as a family. And I was so excited, but there was this energy. But enough about that, because the energy that I feel here is different. Totally different. I have peace. And it's not because Alexander's not here. It's because the alcohol is not here. Now, there's nothing wrong with alcohol, but drinking to get drunk, that's the problem. And that's the problem that some people don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about it, and God forbid if you talk about it, because you will be So, I woke up, and the thing that woke me up was that I was in a state between awake and asleep, and I was recalling the truth, which sometimes we forget the truth. Okay, I was recalling the truth that my Father has revealed to me as I get older, or as I get younger, because the more I detox from the world, the younger my mind gets. No, I shouldn't say younger, but yeah, I guess younger and just a little sharper when you start detoxing from all the worldly things. But anyway, my last thought in that state between awake and asleep, well, I saw this light, this bright light that appeared, and it wasn't from like outside, because it's not nighttime. There's nothing shining out there like that. You know, sometimes maybe a car will go by, and you know the reflection from the car or their window or any metal part will shine on the window, but it wasn't like this, because even though I was not fully awake, I was not fully asleep. It was that state in between, and you know, you're not able to really wake up, but you're waking up. And I saw this bright light, but it wasn't like the bright light that's in your face blinding. It was filtered. It was a filtered light. And it was telling me, do not wander, do not let your mind wander into dark thoughts. Because sometimes the mind will do that, even in your sleep. Even in your sleep, or even in your thoughts, where your mind will start to like, la 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 la, going into, you know. And imagination is good. I'm not saying imagination is not good, but we always have to be aware that we are the pupil of His eye. And as the pupils, we are learning directly from Him. So if we are aware of that, He'll guide us, because we are projecting down here, and the projection only has a straight path. And my father told me this morning. Well, this afternoon, this morning, whatever. This morning, he said, do not let your mind wander into darkness. I'm here. This is the path. This is the path to me. You're projecting down here. Don't forget. And I'm here. I'm always watching you. Do not wander into darkness, because you're out of my direct path. And not that God cannot see everything. Of course He can. But when He's watching you, He's watching you. And yes, it's hard to explain. He was just telling me, don't go into that dark spot that you cannot see. Because you can see this because you're not God. You can see this. We are the pupil of His eye, and what we can see is limited. We're projecting down here. He said, don't go into the darkness, because you don't know. I know, but you don't. So that was the message. So thank you, Daddy. Yes, I am so happy to be his daughter. I feel so loved and blessed and enlightened, and my Father has enlightened me. My Father has enlightened me. He has added faith to my faith. He has me here. So if he has me here and here, then why should I fear anybody? I am just so happy, because for a long time I felt like an orphan. I really did. I felt like an orphan child. And my daddy has adopted me. But I've always been my daddy's. I just needed to be aware of that. So I'm excited, because he speaks to me every day. Every day. And I have to come to him clean of thoughts. I'll come with my Bible, and I'll ask my daddy, please let me read what you want me to read today, because I don't want to be thinking highly of myself that I'm so knowledgeable and so gifted, which I'm not without the Father. The Father gives us what we need to do our job here as His servants. And we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware that there's a time to do it. There's a time frame. It's like, this is it. You're on the spotlight. Your turn. So I am excited, because I didn't understand that. Back then, when I was taking notes in early 2000s, when I lived on Dove Lane, I was taking notes. I had a little black book that Jacob, when he was younger than Alexander, him and I went to a place called TJ Maxx. Well, I had never known about, let me rephrase that. I did not know about TJ Maxx until I was trying to save money. And so I went to TJ Maxx, and I was like, Jacob, I wish I would have known about this place, back in the days. I would have been saving so much money. And I said, Stephen, Jacob, look there's Ross and Marshall's. Oh my, I had no idea that those places existed back when Stephen Jacob was little. And I was fascinated. We got Jacob this kit with a Triceratops, because Jacob's favorite dinosaur is a Triceratops. And Alexander's favorite dinosaur is a T-Rex. And it's funny how they both have that same personality. Jacob is more, like easygoing and peaceful, but don't you dare, provoke him because he has it's like, yeah, he'll defend himself, but he is very passive. And Alexander's more like, rah, 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 rah. Go, 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 go. Alexander's my Tigger, and Jacob is my Winnie the Pooh. Really. But I'm so excited because I am the mother of these children, and I will not let go. Let me show you something that I experienced the other day too. I'm going to show you because I'm not a very good painter, but I can describe it, and that way it'll be like a moving painting, because I don't have the gift of painting like Van Gogh or like Walter Anderson, that they were able to paint something that had movement. We had the swirls, and everything was intertwined, and it was lively, and it was like moving, right? So I'm not able to paint like that, but I'm able to describe it. This is it. So, I have had these Susan Lordy, yeah, by Willow Tree. Yes, I fell in love with these before I even knew who made them and what they were called and what they were all about. When they first came out, I was very young, and I saw them in the mall, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the most beautiful thing, because they don't have a specific feature. This could be anybody, right? You identify, because you've been there and you've been here. Now, this is Stephen, Jacob, and Alexander. Stephen, Jacob, and Alexander. So the other night I was having this feeling, and I don't know if it was, with all of these experiments that we have going on nowadays in the world, it is, because we've been enlightened. We know what's going on in the world, but we also know what's going on in heaven. Oh, yes, we do. That's right. Because we are his pupils learning directly from him. So I was in my bed, and I was feeling like I was being almost like a magnet. When you take a magnet from far away, and then the little metal starts to kind of go, that's how I felt in my bed, like not too long ago, and I felt like this magnet was pulling at me. And I was like, I am not leaving without my children. And so I grabbed these, and not that they're metal or anything that can, but it grounded me, because I was like, I will not let go. No. And it just like, I was stronger than that pull. So that's all I have to say about that. So, Alexander has always liked this card right here. This is the smaller version. I have a bigger version. I've had these since I worked at the Giving Tree, or I used to work at the Giving Tree a long time ago. And this is my sign, but not that it means anything, does it? But we all have a sign. Yeah. Jacob is also a Libra. Alexander's a Virgo. But in the Chinese horoscope, I'm an ox. Alexander is an ox, or a buffalo, but ox, whatever. And Jacob is a tiger. And I think it's really fascinating, because even though it's not biblical, it has to do with psychology. It's like you start identifying with certain things, you know what I mean? But this is true about me because I'm all about symmetry and balance. Like, I need to have balance in my life. And when I don't have balance in my life, you know, it's like, of course we all need balance. We all need balance, because if we didn't want balance, then there would be something wrong with us. Okay, so this is my Alexander's card. So our transformation occurred somewhere around here, between the 3 and the 4. Yeah. See, because this represents water. And this is Mother Earth, because the earth is mostly water and our bodies are mostly water. That's why women, womb, okay, the upside down triangle, is in the shape of a womb. And so we grow in water, but then when we're done growing in the water, it's time to come out. It's time to come out. You can't stay in your mama's womb forever. So that's what rebirth is. That's what being reborn of the Father, of God. So when you're a child of your mother, you know, God says, you know, okay, but it's time to, you know, it's like being born of God. There's a difference. Because once you're born physically from your mom, you're born from your mom. But then you have to be born of the Father through faith. And then it occurred somewhere between the 3 and the 4. And 3 equals C, which equals gamma, or G, which means also G is for God. But it's really true. If you look it up in the ancient languages, like the significance of gamma. And then in Hebrew is Gimel, that comes from Gamal, which comes from camel. And but this is fascinating. I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. I was trying to describe what I was feeling, and in looking and searching, it's like there's no denying that my Father, there's no denying that my Father is my Father, because my Father tells me in advance sometimes. Yes. So, my Father communicates with me. He has flashed the sky for me. He has stopped the rain for me to go to work. Yes. My Father comforts me. My Father's my cure and my medicine. And He's the code for the solution of our problems. That's right. I may be crazy, but I ain't stupid. I believe what I have seen. I may be Christian, but I ain't stupid. I believe what I have seen with my own eyes and felt with my own body. And I'm trying to describe it to you because I didn't grow up learning about physics, you know, but this is where Albert Einstein helps in, you know, and Dr. Martin Luther King helps in that, you know, with history, you know, and believe me, I've got friends, okay? We have friends! Yes, we do! People who have served the Lord. Now, these people may have lived here physically, but they never die because they did what they were supposed to do for God. And they have been chosen for specific missions, for specific tasks. And some psychologists and psychiatrists, they're not in the business of selling you God because they have their cure and they have their diagnosis, and they have their prescription. So I'm not saying that medication is bad, but you have to consider the right medication for the right patient at the right time through the right route and the right dosage. And what is happening is a lot of these professionals are purposely disabling people so that they can continue, feeding that system. So that's why I am enemy number one of that industry. But I believe that there is the right medication for the right person at the right time through the right route in the right dosage. 5, and our Father's hand is the helping hand above ours. And I have made a covenant. I declared en el nombre de Jesús Cristo, and you cannot take that back. And I said to my father a few months later, actually, it wasn't a few days, it was a few months later when I moved into this apartment. And I said to my father, Father, lock that Holy Spirit in me, lock it, and don't ever, ever, ever let it go. Lock it and take the key to it. I do not want the Holy Spirit to leave me ever, because without it, I'm like a walking dead. Walking dead! What good are you if you're a walking dead? I'm not scared of men. I'm not scared of zombies either. I used to be scared of zombies when I was a child. I'm not scared of anything anymore, because the devil knows that I'll whip him, And Alexander got this little boomerang. You see this boomerang? He hasn't gotten the opportunity to use it very much, but Alexander needs to use his boomerang. Yes, he does. And my son is basically incarcerated. Yes. You see this? I love you, Pochichis. Mama's not letting go. That's right. So, I'm elated and excited and enlightened, and I just have so much to share with you. Yes, I'm very excited. And some people can call it bipolar. Oh, look, she's moody. She's in a good mood. She's in a bad mood. It's like, no. If you have somebody calling you a lazy fat bitch, like my ex-husband, would call me sometimes. Well, he did that only once. But, of course I'm going to be upset. So don't do that. Don't do that to your wives. If your wife is overweight and she wasn't when you met her, well, consider, is she nursing her baby? Is she working a long time in front of a computer? Or does she have a thyroid condition? Does she have any hormonal imbalances that maybe is the root cause of that? So consider, okay, it's the same wife. She's just got, a little different shape. So if you don't like it, and if she doesn't like it, then get her a gym membership. That's right. And then she might get too sexy. She might get too sexy, and then you may become insecure about how sexy she's looking and how other men are looking at your wife. And then you become insecure, and then you become bitter. And then you become a sour person. And you start taking it out on her. And then she may want to divorce you. So don't do that! Join her at the gym! That's right! To the right! All right, that's enough about that. So I had a vision this morning of this beautiful little cat, and she was so beautiful. She had curly white fur. She had these big green eyes, and she was looking up, and she said, I am that cat. I am real. and I'm reporting on what I have seen. Her eyes were green, and she's reporting. And so I'm thinking, I don't have the skills that Bob had, of painting, but I'm going to try and then see if he's happy with it. But I'm going to try. I don't have what I need to do it, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But the Father has already written that there's a new heaven and a new earth. And I like to teach, but I have a very unusual way of teaching because I'm not a professional teacher. No. I'm kind of a cookie. Yeah, I'm a little cookie. All right. So, women, womb, water, Mother Earth, fertile, fire, the Son, the Father, God. The Spirit, for speech, in Hebrew is shin. They say it's because it's like that, like the teeth, when the tongue hits the teeth. But who else makes that sound? The snake. But it's not the snake in the Garden of Eden that got the couple out of there, got him in trouble. No. It's the snake that the Father said to Moses, okay, throw your rod down and it'll turn into a snake, and pick it up and it'll turn back into a staff. So S is for snake and staff. And also to Aaron, he said, throw your rod down and it'll turn into a serpent. Snake, serpent, staff. Spirit. That's right. So the Spirit hovered over the surface of the waters before the earth had any form. The womb, the sperm, it is that life that's looking for something to bind to and create a new living person, being. See, I worked in the infertility clinic, so I know about, how to make babies. So if I must be clinical, I'm not being cynical, no. Clinical, yes. Like clinique. Okay, so thank God for a good foundation, because if I didn't have a good foundation, I would look really rough. Woo! Thank you, Father. That's right. So, the sperm is in the womb, and the womb has nothing in it. It's deep and dark and empty. And the Spirit of God hovered over. Okay? And then he said, "Let there be light! Let there be light!" That's when the egg and the sperm meet and start creating that life form. And it's growing in the womb. It needs water to grow. He needs water to grow. And then he separated the light from the darkness. Birth. That's the first birth. Okay. He says, there's going to be a new earth and a new heaven. There's going to be no more tears, no more sadness. When past and future, he's going to bring back the dead. The people who have done their job here on earth for his kingdom are going to be brought back. Like Dr. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein, President Eisenhower, Maria Montessori, Bob. Yes. They're going to be brought back because they did something that they needed to do. They understood. They may have been misunderstood by society. They may have been labeled as crazy or communist or fanatic or whatever. Some get labeled as genius, some get labeled as heroes, some get labeled as crazy. It just depends on when you lived. When. Because what's popular here may not be popular here. So you can be a hero here, and here you can be a lunatic. Okay? And vice versa. So, we have a time to do what we need to do. Okay. So when you come out of that womb, there's no more water. Okay? It's a new environment. New! That's where we are. So 3 and 4. A, B, C, D. Okay. A, B, C, D. E, F, G. D. A, B. See, the music travels vertically. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we know that C equals G because alpha, beta, gamma, aleph, bet, gimel. So, you've heard of the camel, that it is easier for a camel to enter the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. God gave us a little help because we were stubborn. Our Father gave us a little help because we didn't want to come out of that womb. We were in there holding on. Holding on, holding on, holding on. And the Father's like, it's time. It is time to come out of that womb and into the light. Yes, it's time. So he gave us a little pull. And what looks like going up is actually coming down. What looks like going up, like we were being pulled up, is actually coming down. So he gave us a little pull, and his hand is there to catch us because he's not going to miss the birth of his brand new baby. Oh no! The Father delivers. Yes, he does. He is the deliverer. That's right. He is the deliverer that will deliver us. And you know, when the mama gives birth, she's like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Father. This is the most. And you fall in love with this new baby. This is what the Father wants you to do. He wants you to know that He is the deliverer. And He's there going, come on, baby. Oh, this baby's so stubborn. I'm going to have to just suction them out. You know? And the Father does. And what looks like going up to the right, okay, is coming down. Okay? And then the Father guides us. Okay? And then what looks like going to the right is toward His heart. What looks like going to the right for us is toward His heart. So we went into Gamma, but it looks like Dalet. Yeah. Gamma, Dalet. So, Dalet, heart. Like He. Yes. He, the letter He equals L equals Elohim equals El equals E, Emmanuel. Yes. The deliverer is delivering us. But we have to deliver. We, Mother Earth, we have to deliver. And He's helping us. He is the helping hand above ours. And He helps us deliver. Yes, come on, baby. What looks like going up to the right is actually coming down. He guides us. And then here we are. That's right. And then He's like, look, this is new. It's new. You're not in that water anymore. That water's old. Because the mom's placenta and everything comes out for another baby. But we're talking about this baby. This baby. And when I felt that magnet being pulled this time around, not the first and the second experience, but the third experience, I was like, no, not leaving without my children. I am not. Because my children need to live. My stone that I've had from Bath and Body Works for years and years and years, since Alexander was 3 years old, is my hope stone. And Alexander and Jacob's is live. And they're the door stoppers. They help to keep the door open. That's right! I'm excited! So, I was reading about this 4-pronged shin. And I was like, because every shin that I've seen, the letter shin, has three peaks. It looks like a crown, but it also looks like fire. And so our transformation occurred between 3 and 4, between Gamma and Delta. And Delta means change, and Delta is in the shape of a triangle. So Delta, D for David, D for door, D for Dalet, which is a portal, which is being born of God. So, and the camel went through the eye of the needle. The eye. We are His pupil
We are his pupils. We are his pupils. We, Mother Earth, M-E equals W-E. We, Mother Earth, are his pupils. Okay? Some of us read from left to right in the West, and some of us read from right to left in the East. And this is like in a V shape like this. V for victory. Victory! Because he has promised. So, yeah, this is the focal point right here. The P. Yes. For the focal point. So the Father said to me this morning, he said, don't you wander over there where you don't know, because I may know what's going on, but you don't. So you stay right here. There's only a straight path between you and me, because you're the pupil of my eye projecting down, and there's only that path where the light is. There's only one path where the light is, and we have to stay in the light, because just like a diamond, you know, it has that table. And I didn't know any of this until I was like, okay, I need to express how I'm feeling, because I know what I felt. You know, this is why our intelligence does not come from us. It really doesn't. It comes from the Father. The Father is the giver and the taker. Okay, he's the master and the maker. And we have a time to get our jobs done. And he has chosen us with our abilities and our disabilities. And he says that our weaknesses will be our strength. Yes. And that our disabilities will be used for his kingdom too. Yes, because we are all born special for a reason. That's right. So the Father said, okay, I know everything that's going on with everything, because I am. But you are the pupil of my eye. We are his pupils, Mother Earth. And some of us read from left to right in the West, and some of us read from right to left in the East. And we have to be cognizant that when these two eyes meet, they make one sight. And this is the picture that God has for us. And we not need to be fighting about, look, I am right. And it's like, look, I am right. And years and years and years and years and years and years and years. And then that baby was in there going, okay. Hurting Mother Earth! Hurting Mother Earth! Yes! And the Father said, okay, it's time. The time has come. I'm going to help. Let's go. Woo! So between 3 and 4, okay, between gamma and delta, which is change, between Gimel, which is camel, and Dalet, which means door or portal. Portal of change is here. Yes, to meet us in the middle, because we were so stubborn. But stub, okay? Stub is a stump, which means remnant. And we are the remnant. Yes. He has promised, okay? He said, Judah and Joseph will become one in my hand. Yes. And we know that Joseph and Benjamin, or Benjamin, were the two sons, the 11th and the 12th, from Israel. And Benjamin was the last, the 12th. And this is very important because he was the last.
And when his most beautiful wife died during childbirth, she named him, well, before she passed away, she said that you are a son of my pain, like pain in the butt. and Israel said no. Jacob said no. He's going to be son of the south. Son of the south! Son of the right! So he lifted this child up and said, you're going to be a son of the right, Benjamin. That's right. And we're going to get it done right, because now that we're aware that we are the pupil of his eye, and he has eyes, and we are Mother Earth, and in the west and in the east and the west, we're going to meet in the middle, and we're going to focus on the picture that we are projecting, because we are his pupils, learning directly from him, the master and the maker, the giver and the taker. And he's one. P. Have a good day. Oh, wait a minute. S and T, S equals T. Shin is also sin. Is spelled S-I-N. Sin, but it's really pronounced shin. And it's spelled shin in Hebrew. So shin equals sin. Only in the spelling, not in the significance. It means, okay, teeth. As in snake, as in the snake for, you know, the rod. The snake that eats the other snakes. And shin also means fire. And T is tav, means truth. And in the ancient languages, you're going to see that, for example, sigma, which is the equivalent of shin, sigma's number is the value, numerical value is 200. And this is where the backbone of humanity is going to be straightened as we start to focus. And we're going to start to see that it really doesn't matter, you know, these differences, because it really means the same thing. Okay? The sigma equals 200, which equals S, which equals shin, which equals 300. So that's where the, I don't want to say discrepancy, but the, you know, it takes like a little chiropractor to kind of fix your backbone a little bit. So the tau, letter tau, with TAU is after sigma, that is 300, but then shin is 300. And then tav with TAV or TAW for Hebrew is 400. So that's where the kink was, okay, between sigma, which is the sum of everything, and tav, which means truth and all-encompassing, which means the same thing. Okay, so sigma's 200, but we're just going to take the S and the meaning. We're just gonna not ignore the 200, but we're just gonna understand that That's where the kink is. It's where a good doctor comes in. Okay? So we're going to take the S from sigma, and we're going to take the meaning, which is the sum of everything, equals S equals shin, which equals 300. And this is where between the 3 and the 4. Okay? Because 3 equals 300 and 4 equals 400. You're going to see why. Because C equals S. And David equals truth. Because David is the root. And the spirit of truth. S-T, spirit of truth. Okay. So we're going to take the T from Tav, which means all-encompassing. So we're going to understand now that the change occurred. I shouldn't say change. I should say transformation. Transformation, because we were transported. We are transported through faith by the Spirit. The Spirit of truth. Okay? We are transported, and there's a transformation in our hearts. Because some people say you think with your brain, not with your heart, but really, this is the same. Okay, the Father has promised to transform our hearts, and He has promised to deliver, and He delivers. He's the deliverer that pulls us out and up into Him. Okay, out of the womb for anew. He delivers. He transforms our heart of stone, because when the stone is polished, all the rough edges are cut at the right angle, the right angle, okay, you're going to see these facets that are specifically cut at the right angle to allow the right amount of light into the stone, so we can see all of the colors of the rainbow in the stone. And He has made a covenant with us, and He said that the rainbow bow was a sign of a reminder of His covenant with us. He told us to Noah. Yes. So the stone is cut after all the roughness is taken away. Okay. And now the stone has this crown. The table is the top. And then the crown allows the most light in. And this is the crown that He has promised us. He has promised us a crown for us to be enlightened. We are His body. The root chakra, the heart chakra, the speech communication chakra, the enlightenment, and then the crown. He has promised us a crown. Okay, and this is the victory crown. B. We can see from the west and the east and the west. We read from right to left and from left to right, and we're going to be able to focus our pupils. And there's that V, victory, crown, that lets the most light into the gem. And our 4-pronged shin, because the shin had 3 prongs. And it has become 4 prongs because there was a transformation of the shin. From sin through shin, which is the fire that does not burn, through the spirit, which is the vector. The spirit is the vector and the victor into truth. So now the S equals T, 3 equals 4, C equals D, 300 equals 400. Our 4-pronged shin is ready for the gem because we are His bride and He is our husband. He was helping us deliver the baby that we had to deliver. We had to deliver the baby. And He helped us because He's the helping hand above ours. And the baby was stubborn. It didn't want to come out. But the Father helps. And what looks like going up, 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 and to the right is actually coming down. It's like this. But we're always, always, even though this is us and this is heaven, we are projecting. So we're always the smaller circle, even though heaven looks far away, okay? It looks the other way around from up there. But we're always the smaller circle because we're just projecting. We're projecting. And the Father says, do not go wander into darkness because I may know what's going on. But you don't. You don't. See? You are my pupil projecting. You are my pupil projecting, okay? This is where the light is. This is where the light is. Stay in the light. Being born of God. No more sea. No more sea, no more the old earth and the old heaven, that's old. Now we've gone beyond because we are His pupils learning directly from Him. But we are limited because we're not Him. We are not the Father. We're not the Master and the Maker. We're not the giver and the taker. We are limited because we are His pupils. We are His students, learning directly from Him. And He's showing us the way. He's like, this is what I have for you. This is the light. Stay in the light. Because over there you don't know. You don't know. Stay in the light. There's only a straight path to me. And if you try to go off, he'll guide you back. It's like, come on, get in there. This is what I have for you. I hope I explained to the best of my ability, my daddy, because you have given me disabilities and abilities, and I am honored. I am so honored because my daddy has rescued me. He has lifted me. He has blessed me. And if I were to leave this world today, I know where I'm going and I'm happy. But I said to my father, I said, I am not ready. I don't want to leave my children behind. And I was wrestling. My daddy has most of mercy on us. Yes, he does, and he's real. Woo! Yes. And sometimes we have to be reminded. We have to remind each other about the truth. Yes, we do. Because we get all excited about worldly things, and then we start thinking that, well, everything we're doing is because of our own doing. That we're so smart, that we're so talented, that we're so, happy, and we forget it. And it's like, no. We need to remind each other that, hey, remember what we're teaching each other here. Yeah. So he wanted me to open the book up to Malachi. The love of God, of Jehovah for Jacob. So much to learn, such little time. Have a good day.